All right. What's good? What's good? What's good? Drew Titan in the building, man. How you feeling this morning?
I'm feeling great, man. Had a good workout this morning. Feeling great.
Awesome, man. Was it a leg day, chest day,
Chest triceps.
chest triceps?
Hmm.
That's what's up. All right, man. So we have as you guys know, we have a special show today. It's going to be an extended version. We will be on, and otherwise known as, we will be on for a long ass time because most likely because, and we talked to 78 Sports TV ahead of time because Drew is going to be having an interview with Devin Alexander, who will not be here. I was told just a second ago, will not be here till like 9 o'clock. So that's gonna happen at 9 o'clock while we wait for Devin to come, and then, or excuse me, I've never met him. So the former, what champion was he? He was a 147
Like
champion or a 140
I
champion.
think I believe 140. But
140
we'll
champion.
I'll have him introduce himself when he comes on here.
Yeah. But
Let everyone know
Devin,
who he is.
very, very good. I mean, Devin Alexander, very good fight, man. I said, Mahaj Hussain said, Devin Alexander versus Amir Khan. That's the time Floyd should have fought Amir Khan. I mean, Amir Khan was never going to get a fight, dog. He's just not. That's not the math, dog. See, Floyd's people do real math. They don't do YouTube math. They do real math. Real math includes the real numbers that people actually have and the real money that they're actually making. That's an advantage that Floyd Mayweather Jr. and those guys have that we do not have. They know what the real actual money is. All we're doing is basically speculating on what the money is based on what they say and based on what we pay for tickets and whatever government information, whatever publicly available information is out there, man. But you know how it goes, man. We're gonna see today, man, and have a good conversation because we can't cut it skinny at all, and I will not be involved in the conversation. I'll be a spectator just like you. In other words, man, my name is Bennett, and I ain't in it. So I'm going to sit on the side as soon as Devin gets here. I'm going to exit and allow these guys, like the grown men that they are, to have a conversation that I think you guys will find intriguing. And also, I think it's important to set up the conversation ahead of time by saying what it was about. Drew Titan, I will be as neutral as I can be in describing it ahead of time. So you all have all of the facts that you need to know prior to this conversation beginning. When people engage in what they call debates, I often wonder if they've actually ever really been in one. Because when you're in one, everybody has the same facts. They're not out here arguing about the truth or falseness of facts usually, right? Usually it is in a true debate you agree upon the facts, and then you debate then your conclusion based off of those facts, which is why you have rules of evidence. You can't just pull any old shit in there and say, hey, this is no. That's hearsay. Oh, I object. That's speculation. All of that shit. You know what I mean? All of that stuff that you do. So I'm not going to be in the middle of all of that, but I think it's important for you to understand that Deontay Wilder, who is a former heavyweight champion of the world, and I'm telling you, I'm going to explain this to you neutrally, right? Neutrally. Deontay Wilder is the former WBC heavyweight champion of the world. He lost to Tyson Fury last February. In that fight, Deontay Wilder experienced dizziness in the ring, according to Deontay Wilder. That is what he said. He also said that he suffered a dent in his head in a boxing ring in that fight. Those are the facts, right? So when we talk, we agree to what the facts are that are relevant. The things that are relevant is what Deontay Wilder has said, what Sugar Hill has said, what Tyson Fury has said, and people directly associated with that ring have said. What the commission has said, what the WBC has said, all of those people, what they have said and done are all related, directly relevant to that fight. Drew Titan asked questions of Sugar Hill. Questions that you all heard. If you have not heard it, you should have a little bit of time now to listen to about a 30-minute conversation. It was a 30-minute conversation. Because this conversation, right? Between Drew Titan and Devin Alexander was because of statements that were made about Drew Titan. Before he comes on, I invite you to go research the facts. And then from knowing what happened, the whole story, then start having a conversation about whether or not what one person is saying is reasonable. So this is something else. How do you determine who is the quote unquote winner? Not a body bag, not who people think is, not here, dog. No. It's not gonna be whose opinion it is in the about who shoots the biggest zinger out at who can talk about whose mama the quickest and yell the loudest and all of that.
Nope.
No. We will use the standard this. Drew Titan was accused of being unreasonable. There was an accusation made at him that he harassed, that
I tried to trick him.
Let me do it neutrally. That he interrogated him. And I saw this on Twitter. I saw this on in the media that comes out through the UK, pretty much throughout the world. Drew Titan's face is shown as a result of this. Now, these are based on comments that he made on Barbershop Conversations channel that I do believe is still up, and that I do believe that Fred, the owner of that copyrighted material, still has up and cut into sections for your viewing pleasure. Do not bring in things. Those are things that are relevant within the scope of the conversation. Things that are not is, why are you so mean? Why were you impolite? Why didn't you show him respect? Do you really think that he would do that because he is such a respected person? None of that. Now, you can say that you can vouch for his character, but that doesn't go to the question of whether or not what Drew Titan said was reasonable. Which is why this is almost silly to me. Because you know why, but I will not make the argument for you. I will let you listen to it. But focus on, not bias. That's the only thing that I ask in exchange for people to have this conversation on my channel instead of me trying to make some fucking money. Okay? Straight to the truth. Y'all want to talk about opportunity cost? This shit's an opportunity cost for me. But it is an opportunity to say this. Drew Titan has a chance to explain to a reputable person in the boxing world, a former world champion who shall be treated with respect without a motherfucking doubt, or your ass will lose a wrench, or you will be thrown the fuck out immediately. Because there will be no disrespecting of Devin Alexander in here, or you will be blocked, you will be de-wrenched, you will have all of that. Because we're not going to act like they want us to act.
That's right.
And I mean it. I don't give a fuck. No. If people cannot behave, cannot do that type of shit, and I'm talking to the kids in the room. Do not walk out of here talking about disrespecting Devin Alexander. And do you trolls that try to act like shit, don't try to make this thing someplace where somebody feels like they're not safe and welcome to come to have a conversation, because they are safe and they are welcome. If you fuck with my shit, I throw you out. I can't be any more straight than that. This man is showing me respect by even showing up. And I'm going to show him respect by being here. I'm not going to call him names. I'm not going to question his integrity. I'm going to take him at his word that he doesn't believe that Sugar Hill did anything wrong. And he's going to have an opportunity to explain that with no disrespect, not feeling nervous, not feeling intimidated, not worrying that somebody's going to take a soundbite and try to ruin his career. The minute it happens, the shit ends. Boop! What the fuck happened to the live stream? Fandom pulled the fucking plug is what happened. Now with that, y'all can chill. Because I'm going to chill. I thought this shit was going to pop off at 8 though. I ain't going to bullshit and say I didn't think this shit was going to pop off at 8. I got shit to do. But Drew, enjoy my channel, man. Have a good time. When he shows, hit me on the phone. Pop him in. If y'all want to chop it up, chop it up. This is my time off. But that was disrespectful not to show up at 8 o'clock. When I was here and I knew this shit was going on for a week, I talked to 78 Sports TV. I said, hey man, this may run late. He said, no worries. Boom. Now what are you going to do? Try to run me into fucking Trill? Don't play games, people. Show up on fucking time. That's not respectful to people, man. It's not respectful. I had a show planned at 8 to 9:30. You cannot tell me ESPN, people be walking in this motherfucker at 10:30 on ESPN. I tell you this all the time, it's disrespect because you're black. No fucking way would there be a 12, 13,000 view video. My shit is bigger than some other people's shit is. So why, if you know you can get 20, 30,000 views, do you show up late? That is disrespectful. And I don't disrespect y'all. I don't even ask you to come on the channel. Enjoy the show, but that's disrespectful. I don't show up late to places. And I pay my way in. I don't ask for press passes because you know why? Because it costs y'all money to put that show on. So I don't say, I just say, hey man, I just need a ticket. The world champions think that they can stroll into place. I don't want world champions on my channel if they're going to show up 45 an hour, 2 hours late. You would never do that to ESPN. You would never do that, man. That's why I can't moderate, because I would be biased. But I don't like that, man. This show is not 8 o'clock in the morning to 9:30. It's publicized everywhere.
Well, there you go. How y'all doing this fine morning? You already know who I am. And we're waiting on the brother Devin to show up. But in the meantime, let's have a conversation. I know we got over 300 people in the building. I want to talk about 135. I want to talk about 135, man. Salute to y'all in the chat. And but you know what? Never mind that. Scratch that. Scratch that. You know what I want to talk about? I want to talk about, because all of this is relevant to the conversation I'm going to have later. I want to talk about that pound for pound list and how Champ Side was treated. And the reason why I want to talk about that is because a friend of mine lives out in the West. I'm actually salute to D-Man Jr. in that super chat. He says salute for non. All right, chill, fam. Much appreciated that super chat, but we're not gonna let's not disrespect the guest. Let's not disrespect the guest. When he shows up, listen, it's the deal. I treat everybody with respect, regardless of how I feel about them. Let me tell you something about me before I go into what Champ Side, his list and what he's going through, and how it's typical in the sport of boxing. I treat fighters like how I treat the military. thank you for your service. You understand? I'm not a coward. I don't consider myself like some sort of super duper tough guy. I'm no pussy either. But I never had the heart to go enlist and join the military with the potential of war popping off and got bombs and rockets flying over my damn head. I'm not wired like that. That's unnatural to me. Shout out to Hardbody J Timo. What's going on, fam? He said, be encouraged in due time. Respect will be solidified soon. Absolutely, fam. Absolutely. Absolutely. I respect everybody, male, female, that goes to the military. And, you know, when I see a soldier, I tell them, you know, thanks for your service, man. Because I'm telling you straight up and down, I never had the heart to do that. That shit, there's a few things that scare me in life. Having a rocket flying over your head, that's one that's one thing that'll scare the shit out of me. Another thing is like a natural disaster. All right. I live in New York. We had a couple of earthquakes out there. That's fucking no. I don't do earthquakes. I've seen a tornado. It was close enough for me. I don't do things like that very well. All right. That's those things will mess me up. So when I see a boxer, and I don't care if their record is 1 win and 500 losses and his face is all lumped up. I don't care if it's Glass Joe in real life. I will always talk to them. You know why? If you fought even on an amateur level, you making a choice to wrap your hands up properly, duly noted, and get into a ring and potentially get killed because you love it or you're doing it for the money or for whatever reason, but that's a choice. Now, I talk about this all the time. I've been in the ring, never on a pro level, never on an amateur level. I've been in the ring with headgear and without headgear. I love the sport. I just never went pro because I've spoken to enough fighters and I see what long-term effects will do. You know, that's why if you can come in the game, make a decent amount of money and get out with all your marbles, that's an accomplishment, man. So I respect every fighter in the world. I don't care what your record is. I respect you. You guys know what I'm talking about. I'm not going to say no names, man. Well, actually, you know what? Let me say this. I had Angel Man Freddy on my show last year. Angel Man Freddy was a solid dude, man. Very technically sound, tough, ain't duck no smoke, has a brilliant story, man. And shout out to my brother Trick Nolte. He calls me up, he says, yo, Drew, you know, I got access to Angel Man Freddy. I said, what? Because I want you to understand, these boxers are like rock stars to me. I'm such a nerd. You want to see me geek out? Have me talk to a fighter. All right. You know, shout out to Trick Nolte, man. He got me interviews with Kirk Johnson. You know, that's my dude, man. You know, a whole bunch of guys, but Angel Man Freddy. And he said, yeah, man, you know, he'll do the show. I said, man, that's great, man. My heart was racing. I said, yo, man, I can't wait to talk to this brother. I can't wait to talk to this brother. And he gets on the show, and clearly this is not the guy that I was watching in the 90s. And I had to have the game face, but it really broke my heart. And he's alive, you know, and he's able to talk, but you can tell that he has to get medical attention every day, I believe he said. But it hit me in the heart, man. And one thing that we agreed on a lot of things, but we spoke about that there should be a pension plan for fighters. Now there's one in California, and I spoke to Sweet Reggie Johnson, and he told me the story. He was like about a few rounds short of receiving a pension. I mean, what's he going to do? He's in his late 50s, man. What's he going to do? Come out of retirement to get those rounds and get himself hurt, potentially killed for a fucking pension? How the hell is that fair, man? How is that fair? That's not fair. So, I mean, shout out to New Fat Boy Fitness, LDBC Strong. We got, brother. Absolutely, man. That's my brother. Yo, I ain't forget you. I got some shit cooking for us, man. I'm gonna get back on my health shit too. You know what I'm saying? I have some content coming. So go subscribe to New Fat Boy Fitness. Yeah, so I'm talking to Reggie Johnson, and fighters get done dirty all the time. So in one sense, I'm not mad when these guys are, posturing for their money, because don't get it messed up. At any time, they can get in that ring and lose their life. Am I lying? Did we not go through that early in 2020? We just went through that. This is some dangerous shit that they're doing for themselves because they love it and for our entertainment. So when I see a fighter, I respect them 100% until they disrespect me or whatever, or they disrespect the sport itself. You get my point? And a lot of times, things are not what they seem. Things are not what they seem. Hold on a second. I'm sorry, fellas. Hold on. I got to do this call. Hold on. Sorry. It's wonderful when you're live. Things like that happen. Yeah, so, don't get it messed up, man. I don't look at fighters like, oh, he's a pussy and he's a punk and he's this and he's that. No. I'll say that in comparison to another fighter. But, I mean, let's be serious. We're not training. I'm in shape. But am I really going to get in there with a pro and a top 20 pro and whoop his ass? Maybe. I mean, lower end rankings, I can hold my own. But a pro fighter? No. No, I'm in shape. I'll do better than most. But you really think I'll get in the ring and beat up Dillian White? More than likely, no. In the street, different story. But we're talking about street. I'll be able to do different things. But in a boxing match, no. I mean, most of us in the chat, no. But when we say, yo, Dillian's a coward for ducking Deontay Wilder, yeah. In comparison to Wilder, yeah. So you see why that argument falls short? Oh, well, you wouldn't say it to his face. Yeah, I would. Because I'm talking about this fighter in reference to another fighter. I'm not talking about in reference to me. So you see why that conversation is dumb? But anyway, I show fighters the utmost respect. I do. And if you're here, if you came in here thinking that this is going to be a shouting match and I'm going to, chop up Devin, no. I saw a tweet. I'm not on Twitter. I saw a tweet. Someone brought it to my attention. A bunch of people brought it to my attention. I said, damn, all of that shit. And I said, damn, I didn't even know I did anything wrong. Some guy commented on my channel like 2 in the morning. And he said, First of all, he was just he made reference to me disrespecting Sugar Hill in the Kronk gym. Okay, I didn't know asking questions was disrespect. I didn't know that, but fine. He said, "Well, Sugar Hill is a solid guy, and he did a lot for the community." And my response is, I knew a bunch of drug dealers that gave out turkeys every Thanksgiving. So, I mean, am I lying about that? There are drug dealers that do a lot for their community, but they're drug dealers. Come on, man, get out of here. Get out of here, man. You kidding me? But you know what? I needed clarity on things. Did I attack Sugar Hill? No. I spoke to him like a gentleman. And I'll say this. Sugar Hill was on that show for a good hour before I even beamed in, and I wasn't going to beam in. If any of you was in the chat, y'all saw me there. Everybody was like, yo, Drew, beam in. And I was like, no. For an hour. I didn't beam in until after the brother Tay Jones beamed in. Now, here's my question. Why the fuck are everyone mad at me and not Tay Jones? Am I missing something? Because Tay was on for like about three minutes and some change. And all I heard him say was, you know what you did? And Sugar sat there, didn't say nothing. You know what we finna do? Things like that. You gonna see us. I'm gonna see you. You already know. Sugar ain't say shit. He ain't say nothing. He was in and out of there. And I said, damn. I was not gonna do all of that. Well, when I first saw him sitting there, when the barbershop first opened, I saw him sitting there. I couldn't believe it. I was about to go to bed. I said, yo, that's Sugar Hill. I don't know how Fred pulled that off, but he did it. But I said, you know what? I'm not going to violate my brother's show. I'm not going to, he operates under the utmost integrity. And I'm not going to violate, because all he's going to do is hang up on me. Because in my heart, all I did want to do was call up and curse him out. But how's that productive? Huh? A lot of people's eyes would see that. I was going to beam in and start flipping the bird and, oh, yeah, you motherfucker. And what was the rest of the world going to say? Oh, yeah, typical Wilder fans. This is what they do. And I didn't want to give him that. But I sat there. I said, let me see what he says. And he was just talking. And I started hearing things that were fugazi from when he started talking. I said, wow. I said, okay. But I still wasn't going to beam in. And then I saw the brother Tay. I said, okay. Now I'm going to beam in. Because whatever emotion I had, Tay done got it out already. He done shot it on him. And I said, okay. Now that I'm calm, I can have a conversation. Now all the emotion was gone. Now I can have a conversation. And I beamed in. And that was from the heart. I showed him respect as a trainer. I showed him respect as a man. I didn't scream at him. I didn't curse at him. I was honest. The only thing I did say, and I was honest about that, and I told him, when I put 2 and 2 together, I figured he had something to do with it. And I said to him, I hope you die in a car fire. That's what I said. And I told him that. Y'all heard me tell him that. But you know what everyone seems to miss? When he said, basically, he has nothing to do with it, I said to him, I'll take you at your word. Did I not say that? Press 1. I'm on my champ side this morning. Did I not say that? Press 1. That's what I said. I'll take you at your word. However, you do understand the term in concert. And he said, yes. Conversation's over. Shout out to Alma Huertes. Good morning, Fanon. Why I watch your channel? 100% facts. Exactly. Raw and uncut, man. It's from the heart. So this is the type of time I'm on. I didn't violate him. And you would figure people would be more annoyed with Tay Jones, who basically speaks to Deontay every day. You would think he'd be more they would be more upset with him than they are with the brother who has a tiny little YouTube channel that had on a camouflage tank top and camouflage bandana, looking absolutely corny, that just asked logical questions. I didn't offend Sugar Hill. He wasn't offended. I gave him the thumbs up on the way out. He gave me the thumbs up on the way out. And you know what? If he really, really is genuine and he doesn't know anything about it, I'm glad. I'm real, real, real glad. But if not, time reveals all truth. So I respect fighters. I respect trainers because I don't know everything. And I always look to learn. I love learning. Hey, Fanon, your dogs are going crazy. Yeah, so yeah. I talk to all kinds of fighters, man. I talk to all kinds of fighters. And I speak to a lot of trainers. And I'm a sponge. Because I swear to God, every time I talk to somebody in the industry, I learn something. When Devin come on, I'm sure I'm going to learn something from him. I'm sure. But that doesn't mean I don't know something. And just because us as fans, we're not involved in the industry on the level that they are, that doesn't mean we don't know certain things. You know, would you agree that on this YouTube thing that Kurt Sugar is one of the most knowledgeable people on the history of the sport? Would you agree with that? And for those of you that don't know who Kurt Sugar is, tune in. 3 Wise Men of Boxing on Stormy B Man's channel. Kurt Sugar, I wouldn't even sit down and begin to attempt to try and tell him something that I'm sure he doesn't already know. It's like preaching to the choir. He can give you times, dates, weights, what was going on with the fighter. You know, what was going on with the fighter, what size his shoe was. He could tell you all of that stuff. Was Kurt ever pro? Not that I know of, but that doesn't mean he doesn't know the sport. What do you think these sports analysts are? All on ESPN. A lot of those guys never ran on the football field in their entire life, but they're on ESPN telling you all about the game. Sometimes people are nerds. They can just tell you everything because they know everything. I knew a guy, well, I still know a guy right now that was so deep into the NFL. You could say, yo, man, I'm a Washington Red. You can't say Redskins no more, but you know what I mean. Yeah, I'm a Redskins fan. Who they playing this Sunday? Oh, they playing the Giants. Oh, they ain't gonna beat the Giants. What you mean? Oh, you got Stubblefield in your center. He'll start breaking down your whole line. What college they went to, what they're good at, what they're bad at, when their contract is up, and you just be sitting there like, hey man, I'm just rooting for my team. You just broke what? He's like that. He's a numbers guy. He's like that. There's not anything you can tell him about the NFL that he don't know. It's his thing. He immersed himself into it. Ask me how many times he played football with us, though. in high school. He never padded up. Hold on. Dante Wilder. Someone shoot him in the face. Thank you. Yeah, Stubblefield. He gave you childhood fastback, right? Yeah, but my boy, man, he was just nice with it. He'll break down your whole line, your head coach, your salary cap, all of that stuff. He'll just break it right down. You'll be like, oh my God. He'll have you lose faith in your team. And y'all could be like on an 8-game win streak or something crazy. And he'll just break it down and be like, yeah, enjoy it now. But this game here, you're going to lose. You dig? So there it is. There it is. He immersed himself in the field, into the sport. But when we was in high school, I padded up. He didn't. I said, you going to play some ball? Nah, you get hurt playing out there. But you love the sport. Yeah, but I love it from over here. And he's nice with it. Now, I actually ran around on a football field once upon a time. He didn't. But I couldn't tell him anything about the NFL. Nothing. He was just nice with it. Be Easy says, Drew, do you think we're going to get Wilder Fury 3 this year? That's up to Fury. That's my opinion. Shout out to Alma, whoever is in that super chat again. He said, good morning, Drew. This for you. I appreciate what you bring. 100% facts in the world of boxing. Much appreciated, sis. Much appreciated. Yeah, man. That depends on Fury. You know, my opinion is Fury's being an absolute smut right now. An absolute smut. Your fans and the Wilder haters said you won the first fight easy. I don't know what fight they were watching. Then you win by a knockout in the second fight. Okay? Said that, so that was easy work. So technically you're up 2-1. So now there's a lot of money on the table for this third fight. And you running around trying to fight everybody else but Deontay Wilder. It makes zero sense. You're a coward. Right now, you're equivalent to that child that taunts you in school. Nah. He hit you with a rock upside your head and then got on the bus the day before and got on the bus and drove off. You're like, all right, I'm going to see you tomorrow. So you come to school. He's like, nah, hiding behind a teacher. That's how Tyson Fury's behaving. Really don't want no smoke. Because what happens when the teachers go home and he missed the bus? What happens? What do you think happens? I'm Ron Hamid. I'll tell you what to suck, but you're already a pro at it. Talk to Eddie Hearn about that. I'm in New York, and I had someone on the inside, and I got phone calls as to what happened the night that Ruiz knocked the shit out of AJ. It had a lot to do with water, but Deontay wasn't even in the state. So eat a dick between two slices of bread. Shout out to Keith James in that super chat. Sugar Hill is the black cop on Boys in the Hood. You know what? Let's take him at his word. He said he don't know. He don't know. I can't prove it. I just ask questions. And if you go watch the interview, either you believe him or you don't. Either you believe him or you don't. Shout out to Bill Lockridge in that super chat. Much appreciated, brother. Either you believe him or you don't. I just ask questions. And I got a lot of hate. And I love it, man. I love it. Oh, you think you tough. You think you tough, don't you? Little punk motherfuckers like you think you tough. Classic. Classic. Yeah, man. I mean, either you believe sugar, you don't. I did nothing wrong. The Diesel, Devin ain't here yet. He should be here in like about 20 minutes. You know, I don't, maybe he's training or I don't know. Some of these brothers got day jobs. I don't know. Yeah, but I respect fighters, man. I do. Let me share this. Let me share this story from the 80s, right? Back in the days, there was a boxing club in the Bronx at Roberto Clemente State Park. And shout out to General Squirrels in that super chat. He said, I hate the back of my gums because they black. Oh, y'all need to stop. Shout out to Ari Boxing in that super chat. He said, if Sugar Hill has the gloves and they didn't cheat, why didn't he just show the gloves to dismiss the claims? They probably wouldn't even be the real damn gloves. You know what I'm saying? I mean, they're so, look, Bob Arum didn't know where the gloves were, and he said that on Fred's show. Sugar Hill gets on there and say, yo, they're in my house. I mean, there's so, I'm not even gonna get into it, man. C Cut says, Drew Titan, I was in law enforcement 32 years, and I know for a fact that he was not being truthful. Bro, you and I. And that's why I'm getting the hate. Because a lot of people have the keen eye for the obvious. There was I want to get into it when Devin get on the show. I want to have a conversation. All right. But yeah, it was the 80s, right? And Mitch Blood Green was the man. This is before he fought Mike. All right. In the ring. And contrary, see, a lot of the younger cats, they hear about Mitch Green and they clown him. And all they remember is his eye being swollen for like 2 years after Mike hit him with a closed fist at outside of a club. And they clown that. They think that shit is funny. But you talk to any pro, they'll tell you, yo, Mitch could fight. He's a street dude, and Mitch could fight. Mr. Petrozzo, absolutely. He knocked people out in that gym. Mitch was about 6'5", 200 plus, man, and he had a big mouth, but he backed it up, man. He backed it up, man, and he used to whoop on people, and shout out to the brothers UK. Peace, brother Drew. Peace to you, man. Much appreciated, man. Shout out to Ben Yamin Hill. First time on the chat, like the vibe, so I'm giving money too. All praise to the Most High. Yeah, much appreciated, brother. Much appreciated. So Mitch, Taylor Bell was good. So Mitch, he's in the ring, shadowing whatever. Come on in this ring, little man. Looks at me. So I get in the ring, about maybe 9 years old. He said, put this on. He gives me the headgear. Anyone who's ever been to a gym, headgear and gloves that are used, that shit stinks, man. But you wear it, you put it on, man. I mean, it was totally, it might be a little more sanitary now, but back then it was disgusting. So he put on this headgear. Someone obviously was wearing it prior. Put the headgear on. I was a little guy. The shit ain't fit. The gloves ain't fit. He was like, oh, so throw a jab. So I'm trying to throw a jab. He said, yo, try and hit me. So I'm trying to hit him. He got his hand on my head. So I'm trying to hit him. Throw a right hand. He's spinning around. I swung, fell on the floor. Get up. People laughing and shit. But he was goofing around with me, but I was learning shit. Mitch Blood Green. And I'll never forget that. I was about 9 years old. I'll never, ever, ever forget that. And I appreciated that, man. And I might have been the only person that when I found out he had that fight with Mike Tyson, I got mad because Mitch Green impacted me different. Y'all get my point? He impacted me different. Now, some people laugh at him. Some people laugh at that situation. They see Mike tell that story and they think shit is funny. It's not funny to me. It's not funny to me. Years later in the 90s, I'm on a 4 train. I forgot where I was coming from. And some guys was getting off the train. And they walked past this dude. Well, they walked on the train. Well, I'm sorry, they came on the train. I got on the train, and these guys walk on the train, they do a double take. They start snickering and laughing, right? So then when they get to their stop, they get off, and they like, oh shit, huh? And I said, what's up? They was like, yo, that's Mitch Green over there. The guy that, I was like, I look. So I got up and I walked over there. And I almost said, what's up? But he was so strung out on whatever drug. He was so strung out. My stop, but you know what? I got off the next stop. It wasn't even my stop. I just look, I almost said, hey, man, what up? And I wanted to sit down and tell him, look, man, do you remember, Roberto Clemente State Park? The kid, whatever, that's me, yo, man, how you? I can't say how you because I'm looking at how he's doing, man. So when the next stop came, I said, peace, blood. And he looked up, he said, hey, all right, brother. And he just went back to sleep, man. Shout out to Woke in that super chat. He says, salute Fandom and Drew, just showing support. Great show, as always. Much appreciated, fam. I got off that next stop, man. I could have went to the next car, but I didn't want to be on the same train, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, man. So, I know these fighters go through shit. These fighters are human beings, man. They go through a lot of shit. They go through a lot of personal shit. It's not funny. It's not funny, man. When I saw Angel on my show, after that show, man, I teared up. I don't want that for him. I said, man, I watched this guy, man, technically sound, man. And I know he's messed up right now, but at least have his income in order. Like how the military, I feel if you serve, once you get back from wherever, even if you didn't go anywhere dangerous, once you come home, automatic, your housing, your lights, your gas, and your food should be taken care of automatically off the bat. You shouldn't have to worry about anything. You served. I feel boxing should be the same way. And it's not. And I'm sure there's reasons why it's not. But there needs to be a union or something, man. This is something I spoke to Reggie Johnson about, man. And I think that the time is now to do that. So I said all that to say this, man. I respect these fighters. I respect everybody in the industry, which is why I did not call Fred's show just to curse Sugar Hill out. As much as I hate what I feel he did, I didn't call the brother up and curse him out. I didn't even do what Tay Jones did. And he has a horse in the race. That shit was personal. And it broke my heart that I feel that Sugar Hill knew what he was doing. And I still showed that man respect when I called. All I did was ask questions. And you still got motherfuckers saying, oh, well, that was disrespectful. It's disrespectful to ask a question. Or is it disrespectful that you didn't get the answers from that man that you thought you would get? I didn't do what H Money tried to do. And H Money, that was coming from the heart. As soon as he said, yo, I think you were a disgrace to the steward name, Fred cut him off. I didn't want to be that guy. So I said, I'm not calling in, man. Because that's in my heart right now. I'm mad. Because I think that they tried to kill this brother in the ring. I think they tried to kill him. We have all the evidence in the fucking world. What you mean? You fucking mad at me for asking questions? Or are you mad that you didn't get the answers? Fuck's wrong with some of y'all? You think we're making it up? I'm not that nice with Photoshop. I don't even know how that shit works. You've never seen boxing gloves like that, man. Never. What are y'all talking about? I've never seen a glove flap around like that, ever, except in 2 fights. Him versus Wilder in 2 fights. And I didn't even catch it in the first fight until I saw it in the second and made me go back to the first. But we're making it up. You hate this man. I just said that I respect all fighters, all trainers, managers, promoters. We all know about Bob Arum, but he's been on Fred's show how many times? Now, would Bob Arum be on Fred's show speaking his truth if all he did was come up there and get verbally assaulted? Sometimes, you could tell a fool by his or her words. So you got to let him talk. I let him talk. But y'all want to ignore evidence? You think the video we did with Sneaky Punch, you think we made that shit up? Point out the lie. Where's the lie? Point out the lie. You can't. When I ask you legitimate questions, what's up with this glove? According to the law, you can't hit with the wrist. And I saw several wrist shots and rabbit punches. And your only response is, Deontay Wilder can't box. You remember when AOL used to get disconnected from online? Goodbye. Goodbye. That's how I treat y'all. Shout out to Jay Gibson in that super chat. Much appreciated. He says salute to the Druth Banan in the chat. Bomb squad till this day. Exactly. Get a raw deal, man. The man's getting a raw deal. You can't be serious. Y'all remember Antonio Margarito? Huh? Right under our nose. By the way, did I mention that I spoke to... That's right, well, he can't box, but he got 40 plus knockouts. Right. I spoke to Kermit Cintron behind the scenes. Kermit Cintron fought Margarito twice. Do you know what could have happened? But Margarito's cheating ass fucked it up. You want to know what could have happened? You know what was about to happen? Kermit Cintron, Puerto Rican, right? He was on a tear. He was on a tear. Powerful, rangy, way above average skills. He was on a tear. He got to Margarito and lost. He fought him again and lost. I spoke to Kermit and I said, what happened, man? Mr. Shelton, shout out to you in that super chat. He said, talk that talk, Drew. Exactly, I'm on it. I'm on the job. You know that. He says, you know what? You know what happened. He said, that guy cheated me, man. Those gloves did not feel right. And they got me twice. Twice they got Kermit. Because of Antonio Margarito, you know what was about to happen? Now, if you guys remember, Kermit was on a tear. He was a knockout artist. You know what they were setting up? It was going to be him versus Miguel Cotto on the weekend of the Puerto Rican Day Parade. Shout out to Mr. Finesse. Salute Drew and Fanon. We got these fools on the ropes. Keep the pressure on. So keep the pressure on. We see they about to fold. Exactly. Oh, yeah, C-Cut. I know that. I know that. So, Pete, I want you to understand something. Kermit Cintron, Puerto Rican. Miguel Cotto, Puerto Rican. Do you know what that would have done in New York on the weekend of the Puerto Rican Day Parade? I mean, Cotto was their guy, but the fact that you would have had Kermit Cintron versus Miguel Cotto on the weekend, you'd have had two Puerto Ricans fighting on the weekend of the Puerto Rican Day Parade. Shout out to Malik Omar. Salute Drew Titan. New York is in the building. That Wilder versus Fury 2 fight, I never watched because they tried to kill the king. God bless you. Dude, I saw it live and I didn't watch it again until for like 7 days until people just kept saying, no, look. And that's when I saw the fuckery. Mr. Finesse, yes, 116 would have been lit. It would have been lit. And that's what makes boxing beautiful. I love seeing people rep their culture, man. Repping culture is so, like, to me, and I'm speaking for me, it's beautiful, man. I went to the Gennady Golovkin Canelo presser in New York for the first fight. And I went there and there was a whole slew of Mexicans there and a lot of cats from Kazakhstan there. No fights broke out. They were friendly with each other. There was some soccer chants in there. I've never witnessed that up close. I said, man, but it was so dope, man. It was so dope. That's right, Conor Local. Y'all fly that flag proudly, man. Proudly. Listen. I was sitting, I forgot where I was sitting, but it was in the theater. And I have a video. I was in the back of the garden. Canelo came out the he came out the limo. He walked right past me. Canelo like this tall. Whatever. But I said, man, this shit is dope. They were doing like soccer chants. I was like, yo, this is so dope. I have video of it. I might upload it. But that shit was like, it was dope. I liked it, man. I liked it. And it was just beautiful, man. You supposed to root for your guy, man. Can you imagine being a fighter and your people not rooting for you? Come on, man. Come on, man. I had to get on social media and tell my Jamaican buddies, yo, the Axeman is fighting, man. He's a yardie. Get behind your guy. It's a beautiful thing when you see other ethnicities rooting for their own, man. That's always been beautiful. That's the beauty of boxing. It just gets ugly when you sprinkle in the R word. I'm rooting for my guy because he's the same ethnicity, and I'm hating this guy because of his ethnicity. No, that's not what we do. Shout out to D Nice 201 in that super chat. He says, I miss NY on the PR Day Parade. We shut the city down. Yeah, man. Puerto Rican Day Parade. That whole weekend is an event. It's an event, man. It's beautiful. I went to the Rigondeaux Lomachenko fight. The Ukraine was in the house. And there was no malice or nothing. They just waved their flags, man. That's beautiful. I love being around other cultures. I don't live too far from Little Italy in the Bronx. When you going down Fordham Road, they got a picture on the wall of Sonny from A Bronx Tale. The actor, I forget his name. But that shit is dope because you know you're entering Little Italy because that's where the movie took place, A Bronx Tale. Story about an Italian kid growing up. I said, that's dope, man. Yo, listen, man. Katona Avenue, right up here. It's all off the boat Irish over there. That whole strip. Off the boat Irish. They're cool as fuck. I could walk through there without a problem. Right down the hill, though, White Plains Road, all West Indian, Jamaican, Guyanese, Trinis, all up and down White Plains Road. We're a melting pot. There's no room for racism. I didn't know what the hell racism was until I left New York on my own. There's no room for it. So when I'm accused of being a racist, what the fuck are you talking about? A lot of motherfuckers, matter of fact, none of you even know what my ethnicity really is. I'm black, but I'm something else. You would never guess. Maybe I'll tell you, maybe I won't. But it's irrelevant. And I know this might sound cliche, but I got friends of all races, cultures, and creed. And none of us knew what racism was. And I'll tell you this. What was beautiful about my childhood was that we all played wrestling in the sandbox. There ain't no sandboxes no more. That's an 80s thing, early 80s, right? And my boy Larry, God rest his soul, man. We buried him in 2020, man. I mean, that's my brother, man. My boy Larry, he was the only guy that was big enough, because he was a big kid, right? He was, when we all had to be wrestlers, he was the only guy that could be Hulk Hogan. Because he was a bigger kid, right? And he had red hair, but he was a white kid. So he had to be Hulk Hogan. Me, I had to be JYD, Junkyard Dog, because because Junkyard Dog looked like my uncle. Junkyard Dog looked like my uncle. And my other boy played Jimmy Snooker, but we was always in the park wrestling and shit. And my other boy Jeremy, you know, he's the other white kid, you know what I mean? So I mean, yo, listen, man. He was always Ric Flair, and I mean, come on, man. Come on, man. I don't subscribe to that shit. I don't subscribe to that shit. So when you try and pin that on me and the people I fucks with, shame on you, man. Shame on you. There's something wrong with you. There's some insecurities with you. You dig? There's insecurities with you. $10:05. Waiting on this brother to come through. Yeah, man. You know, look, there's no room for it. And it's like, it seems to be their go-to thing when you critique someone that's their own race. Now, I bring up Champ Side for a reason. I never met Champ Side. I've subscribed to his channel for a while now. Love his channel. For those of you that don't know, he's not LDBC. He's his own entity, like Boxing Ego, own entity. But I fucks with both of them because I fucks with truth. And Champ Side put together a pound for pound list, and he explained why certain people weren't on there. Next thing you know, he's getting attacked. So I said to him on Instagram, I said, listen, you're not alone. We support you. And we're not against Mexicans. We're against the racist. Because those few fools that did that shit to him, I'll go as far as to say they're probably not even Mexicans, man. They just people trying to start shit. Shout out to LeRae Williams. He said, how concerned should we be about this lengthy layoff for Wilder at 35, 36? It felt like he was hitting his prime going into the Tyson Fury fight. Well, from what I understand, he's been in camp and he was ready to go before the shutdown. He had surgery, his arm was repaired, he's 100%. He's been in camp. He could fight tomorrow, according to Tay. So he's ready to rock. But we got to see. But the only way we got to see is if this cheater gets his ass in the ring. You know? That's the only way to see. And again, you bring up a valid point, but you know, if he's old and washed up and done, wouldn't it make sense to get him now and put the nail in the coffin? And that's what I say with these haters, man. All right, change the question. Don't you want to see Wilder gone from the sport? Don't you want to see him get his ass kicked again? Hit up the Gypsy King and tell him to take the fight. That's how we answer the question. Take the fight, man. Take the fight. Put him out of his misery if you think you could do it. Because if you fight AJ and you beat AJ, what are you going to do next? Wilder's there. He's still the mandatory. If AJ beats Fury, what are you going to do next? Even if y'all rematch, he's still there. There's no getting around it. What are y'all going to do? Retire? Fight Dillian White? As if we don't see what the play is. What y'all need to do is stop playing. We see through your bullshit. Anyway. I ain't got to tell y'all who to clap. You know what I mean? Thanks for the view, though. Yeah, we salty. Thanks for the view, though. Cha-ching. Shout out to main boxing biker. Devin argued that Bradley cheated him with headbutts. We'll talk about that. Waiting on the brother to show up. We'll talk about that. Definitely. Thank you for that, though. I have that in my notes. Yeah, man. When someone plays the race card as it was played, all you're doing is pointing out insecurities. All right. I never sat down and did a pound for pound list, but when Champ Side did it, I agree with it 110%. I did. And I agree that Canelo shouldn't be there. I agree. You cheated, babe. You got caught. You got caught. But you want to think that that's because he's Mexican? Watch this. Years ago, I went to the Garden. I watched James Toney versus John the Quiet Man Ruiz. Right? I was not a John Ruiz fan. I did not like his style. I was a little biased because he beat Evander Holyfield and he beat Kirk Johnson. All right. John Ruiz, his record it's not bad. It's not bad. When you can say you beat Evander Holyfield, it's not bad, man. I didn't, man. He gets to the ring with James Toney. I had James winning that fight 7 rounds to 5. But James, man, stylistically, one of my favorite fighters of all time. Fights in the pocket, excellent head movement, slips punches. This guy's for real, man. One of my favorite. Realistically, he had no business at heavyweight. James is only, 5'9"? And when he's a heavyweight, he was like out of shape. He looked out of shape. But his skill set permitted him to exist in the heavyweight division at that time. So he beats Ruiz, and sometime later, what do you think happens? He popped dirty. And he said that whatever he was on, I forget what he was on. He said it was because he was healing from a bicep injury or something, if I remember correctly. And unfortunately, the fight was changed to a no contest, and John Ruiz tried to sue him. I forget how that went, but I was so like annoyed with that because James Toney is my guy. But what's the bottom line here? He cheated. Broke my damn heart, man. But he cheated. He cheated. He cheated against John Ruiz. What's the bottom line? When you look on the box rec, it says no contest. Now, stylistically, Ruiz couldn't fuck with James. I was there, screaming. Go look at the highlights of that fight. Stylistically, James Toney was superior to John Ruiz. But when they took that last piss test, he popped dirty. That put a fucking cloud over everything. That made me rethink everything he did instinctively. And I hate that, man, because I like James Toney. I like James Toney. Want me to get deeper? We got love for Roy Jones, right? Y'all know he popped dirty. Y'all know he did. I got love for Roy, man. I hit up Roy and Santos Boxing says he appealed it and it was found not guilty later, but they didn't give him his win back. I didn't know that because I honestly stopped paying attention because I was so like disgusted. You know, Roy Jones popped dirty, and I forgot whether it was it Eric Harding or somebody. When he popped dirty, his opponent also popped dirty, but they went ahead and fought anyway because they both popped dirty. I forget. He went up to heavyweight, fought John Ruiz, beat him, and lost 15 pounds of muscle when he fought Tarver. How do you do that in 3 months? Lose 15 pounds of rip. How do you do that? But you motherfuckers want to get mad at me for asking questions. Want me to get deeper? How many Shane Mosley fans are in here? Do we need to go down what happened with Shane Mosley? He admitted it. Big Shane Mosley fan. I was there when Vernon Forrest put the beats on him. That was right here in New York. Put the beats on him. I said, damn. One round he hit him with a body shot, and Shane said, oh! I heard it. I was right there. I was like, oh. God damn. Vernon fucked him up. What do we know about Shane? Not Snack. Balco, whatever the fuck. Iron LeVar said the Shane Mosley one hurt real bad. See, that shit hurt me. It hurts when you're rooting so hard for a fighter and then some fuck shit happens. That's horrible, man. It's horrible. I held them accountable. I said, when it happened, I said, this right here, puts a shade over everything he's ever done. That's natural to believe. It puts a shade, it puts a cloud over everything he's done. Now I'm questioning every knockout, every cut he put on people's forehead, every body shot. And that's natural. All right, I don't know how many ladies are in the house. All right, but I'm gonna be fair. I'm gonna talk to the ladies. Ladies, catch your man cheating. Don't you sit back and just start thinking, wait a minute. What about that time he said he was going to what about that time he said he was going to the store and he was gone for an hour? Was he with that bitch? What about that time he said he was going over here? Was he with that bitch or some other bitch? Don't you start questioning everything? Why? That's natural. That's a natural reaction. Do you stay quiet or do you ask questions? Do you ask questions or do you sit there and take it? Fellas. Y'all ever been dealing with a chick? I ain't even got to go there. Y'all already know what it is, especially when y'all was coming up, you're dealing with that chick. Phone games, call. She answered the phone. Then when she finally answered the phone, it's by accident. Oh, hello? Oh, hey. Yeah. Fellas, I'm going back before this texting shit. Before this, before social media. I'm talking about the 80s and 90s. She never home. And when she do answer the phone, I'm sorry, someone answer the phone, she never there. The mama answer the phone, she ain't here. Brother answer the phone, she ain't here. Y'all know what I'm talking about, right? Then when she do answer the phone, she answers the phone by accident. You swear to God, she was waiting for a call from somebody else. Y'all know that feeling. Everybody's been there. It's called growing pains. We've all been there. And you can't prove it because you ain't see it. But you know something's funny. You ain't got no proof, but something ain't right. And then when you do find it, don't you start questioning everything? Who was she waiting for the phone call that day? What the fuck was that? Why wasn't she home that Saturday night? When she knew we had plans. We planned it all week, and then the bitch just disappeared. What the fuck was that? You know what it is. Do we need to explain it, or do you understand? What's understood needs no explanation. What's understood needs no explanation. Like how it's 10:19 and we waiting on a champ. Jarrell Big Baby Miller. Iron Levant, shout out to you in that super chat. He said, I remember that Vernon fight. You definitely heard Mosley holler in pain from the body shot. You even heard it on the telecast. Said, what the yep. Was he on not to go down at that shot? Yeah, man. Shane was definitely juicing. Now, let me mention there he is.
Yeah. What's up, champ?
How you feel, family?
Man, I am good, man. I'm on your show today.
Yes, sir. All right, brother. I ain't gonna tie you up. For those of you that been on the moon for the last decade or so, let everyone know who you are, brother.
Oh, okay. My name is Devin Alexander the Great, 3-time world champion, 2-time IBF champion, 1-time WBC champion. Beat some of the best in the game: Marcos Medina, Randall Bailey. The list goes on. So I'm
There you
here
go.
to
I see that.
chat
I
with.
see the gold in the back. I see the gold in the back.
Sir. Yes, sir.
I see the gold in the back.
Yeah.
That's what's up, man.
Yeah.
That's right. Everyone's applauding you in the chat, man. They loving you in the chat.
I appreciate that, man. I appreciate your support, man. I'm happy to be on your platform, man.
Brother, I'm happy to have you, man.
Tell me about your platform, because that was the first time I came across your platform. on Twitter.
Yeah. Well, I'm not on Twitter. It's just that I had a conversation with the legendary trainer Sugar Hill on my friend's platform and barbershop
Oh, okay.
conversations, and
Gotcha.
apparently I pissed a lot of people off with my questioning. That wasn't the intent. But let me just give you a background about me. I live in New York, Bronx, and I never went pro, never went amateur, but I grew up in gyms. The gyms basically were my babysitter. My dad was a cop, and rather than pay a babysitter, he was a high-ranking officer. He just would say, "Yo, go downstairs. You and your brother hang out in the gym," and that's how I picked a lot of things up.
That's
I
what's
picked up a
up.
lot of things. Yeah, and I sparred before the laws changed in here because now you got to have a license in New York to actually get in there and mix it up. But I sparred and I learned a lot from a lot of old school guys. Roberto Clemente State Park, there was a boxing gym. I just shared the story a little while ago. I'll share it again. The big bad dog in there was a Mitch Blood Green. And I actually learned a lot from him, watching him. And, he used to goof around with me, like, put that sweaty ass stink headgear on, running around, and he showed me how to throw a jab and shit. Those things touched me. So, I don't take kindly when people make fun of Mitch Green. I don't like it, because I see him different. And
For sure.
he never knew my name. I was just a little man. He just called me little man, just little man. Come here, little man. And he was a bad motherfucker, man.
He was.
Mitch Green was a bad motherfucker. That's all, and to see him now, is heartbreaking.
Do you still see him?
No, I haven't seen him in years. I last time I saw him was in the 90s on the train, and he didn't look well, and he wouldn't have recognized me. I just said, "Hey," I said, "Goodbye, champ." He said, "Hey, how you doing?" And he was strung out, and it just broke my heart. I'm just glad he's alive. I don't know where he's at now. I'm just glad he's alive. And
For sure.
I was just telling the family, man, you guys are rock stars to me. You guys are rock stars to me. And shout out to Trick Nolte in that super chat, man. That's my brother. I treat boxers like the military. Like, thank you for your service. I followed your career closely. And I don't care what your ranking is. I don't care if you're 1 in 100. I respect you. I respect you because I don't have the balls. I respect the military because I don't have the balls to sign up to potentially go across seas and get shot at. That's not fun. Like I said, I never went pro. I love the sport, but I didn't love it enough to pursue it because I know what could potentially happen. I see what happens to fighters.
For sure.
I spoke to Reggie Johnson, and we had conversations about fighters having having a pension. I heard California has a pension system set up for fighters. And Reggie said he was like a few rounds short, and like what is he gonna do? Come out of retirement to box 5 rounds and potentially kill himself just for a damn pension? And you guys do this because you love it, and you do it for our entertainment. And that's why I will never disrespect the fighter. So, I mean, when you see a lot of fans get pissed with a fighter, and we say, "Man, fuck that guy," it's not like we're saying, "Yo, fuck that guy," and like we'll beat him up if we see him. No. What we're saying is, as it pertains to the guy in your ranking, fight that guy. Now me as a consumer, I want to pay money to see what I want to see.
Quality.
Yeah. Right.
Yes.
I want to see that. But I will admit, there is some aspects of the business that I'm just not keen to. That's why I'm always looking to speak with managers, promoters, and fighters so that I can get a clear understanding as to what am I missing? What am I missing? So that was my purpose of calling into the show, and people call it an interrogation.
Mm-hmm.
I was just asking questions because what I learned, first of all, Deontay Wilder's my guy. All right, he's my guy, and it's obvious he means more to me than just boxing. All right, he actually represents, and you can see by way of social media how he's treated. What they say about him, a majority of it has nothing to do with boxing. He represents the struggle of the black fighter, the black man in this world.
For sure. For sure.
And that's why I respect the brother. The brother has a story. All right. The brother got off of a fucking beer truck and said, look, my daughter is sick. I can't pay for her medical attention on this beer truck salary. So I guess what are you going to do, Deontay? I'm going to start fighting. And he didn't grow up in no damn gyms like probably you did, or a lot of fighters. Oh, I grew up in the gym like Floyd Mayweather grew up in the gym.
For
you know,
sure.
the man got off of a fucking beer truck, made the Olympic team, got a bronze medal. That's a story. That's a story. Okay,
That don't happen every day.
They don't. And then you find out, you know, I mean, 40 fights later, he's a world champion and a millionaire. You know, 10 title defenses. This guy, we almost didn't have him. If he doesn't have a sick daughter, he's probably still delivering beer. You know how many, you know, we could have missed him. You understand? This guy, some guys are natural. Like Michael Jordan didn't want to play basketball. He wanted to play baseball. And he wasn't as good as baseball. And then you find out, hey, well, I'm better shooting this basketball. We almost didn't get Michael Jordan. I mean, you understand? You understand? So that's the beauty of guys like Michael Jordan. That's the beauty of Deontay Wilder. And he doesn't get the respect, you know, and he represents, especially what he's going through now, he represents things that everything like with black fighters, Jack Johnson, Joe Gans. You know who Joe Gans is? Right, Joe Gans, the Black Murderers Row. You know, Jack Chase, Aaron Wade, Charlie Burley, Lloyd Marshall. Who am I forgetting? Holman Williams, Eddie Booker, Burt Lyder, all of those guys. Deontay Wilder.
You know your homework, man.
Man, brother, I love this sport, man. I love this sport. And when it's more to me than just hitting the bags. It's more to me than just sit-ups and push-ups and running. Like I said, I never went pro. My uncle lived on the same block as Sugar Ray Robinson. You can sit down. You can check my channel. I interviewed my uncle. He was telling me a bunch of stories. He used to play cards with Sugar Ray. He used to go to his he had a bar in Harlem, and he used to go to the bar. He used to play cards with him all the time.
Man, I wish, you know what? Just listening to you, I wish a lot of other fight fans will get to experience what we actually go through. So you can tell the way you talk and you understand just how much boxing is so tough. It's a tough sport, rugged. It's a dirty sport, a dog-eat-dog world. You know, you got so many fighters out here that people forgot about, that when you mention their name, like, damn, how did I forget that? You know, you got the sport is just such a tough sport. So just listening, a lot of other fans need to be just like you, and then they'll respect the fighter more. Because you got some disrespectful ass fans out here that be talking crazy.
I know.
Like,
I know.
Crazy. You know,
and that's why I feel my interview got lost in translation, because a lot of people they really can't stand Deontay Wilder for reasons that they got to deal with. I can't explain it. So where my interview with Sugar Hill, which was pretty much impromptu, it was it got lost. And when you see the still shot, it looks kind of odd because I'm sitting there with a I'm sitting there with a camouflage bandana and a matching shirt. That was my gym gear, by the way. And let me just tell you about how that happened. My brother Fred didn't know. He didn't tell us. He said he was going to have a surprise guest on that day, and he didn't say anything to anybody. And I said, okay. So when he comes on, because he's in California, I'm in New York. I was about to go to bed. He comes out here on midnight. I said, let me see who he got. I'm thinking he's going to have an NBA play on there. Boom, Sugar Hill sitting there. I was like, oh, shit. And I had questions. Now, let me explain. I believe Tyson Fury cheated. I firmly believe that. There's video evidence, still pick evidence by way of conversation that leads me to believe that this guy cheated. And to me, it was impossible I feel it's impossible for Sugar Hill, the trainer, not to know. So when Fred put the camera on him, me being who I was angry and emotional because I just said Deontay Wilder represents Black fighters and what we've gone through. And I didn't call in the show for the first hour because I was angry. And I knew if I called in the show, it would have been an avalanche of ignorance and Fred would have had to cut me off. So I said, I'm not calling in. If you go back and look at the chat, everyone's saying, Drew, call in. I'm like, nope. I refused. Until the brother Tay Jones beamed in. And it wasn't even an interview with him. He just flat out told him, I know what you did. You know what you did. We're going to see you make the fight. To me, it was an out and out threat. And I said, well, shit, I wasn't going to do that. I don't know Sugar Hill to be threatening him. I'm not going to do that. Curse him out, maybe, but I wasn't going to do that. But I said, wow, the world is more pissed with me for asking legitimate, fair questions than they are with Tay Jones, who just threatened the guy. So that must mean I'm onto something, because it's not the fact that I was asking questions that were unreasonable. It was they didn't like the answers. So with that being said, let me ask you, do you believe that there's cheating in the sport of boxing?
Absolutely. For PDs, for sure. You know, you got some hell of a scientists that can manipulate their body, that's smart, that know what the hell they doing, and can make you into a fucking super fighter. So absolutely, you got some cheating. You got people still doing it to this day too. Force the glove. The reason why, and this is just from a fighter standpoint. I mean, I see where Sugar Hill is coming from, because you got to think, he just came into that situation, right? He got a whole team that's not even part of Sugar Hill. He's all the way over there in another country. So when Sugar Hill gets them, it could be a system that he don't know about. It could be something that really he don't know. You know, and that's where my mind was at. You know, when I said, you know, I don't believe that Sugar Hill knew about it. Let's just say he did cheat. That guy, you gotta have a lot of people in cahoots with that. You gotta have some damn higher ups, people that just turned the blind cheek and said, man, I ain't see nothing. I don't want to see nothing. Give me a little bit under the table or pay me. If he did cheat, if he did, he had to have some powerful people that to just turn a blind eye, because basically it's possible nowadays Now, before for the Margarito and all that, I don't know too much about what happened with that. But nowadays, commission is strict. They take those gloves after you fit the glove. The commission take
Mhm.
each glove that the fighter wants with them,
Mhm.
and they keep the gloves. So
Mhm.
the commissioner had, if he cheated, I'm just hypothetical. I ain't.
Mhm.
If he did, the whole damn where they fight Vegas, the
Yeah.
whole damn system had something to do with his gloves. So you know, I, that's where my thinking was. Just thinking as a fighter, it's damn near impossible nowadays to cheat. So with his team may have some type of damn regimen where they do with the glove, they perfected it or something. I don't know. I'm just
Let me-
thinking as a fighter, it is
right.
damn near to me. If I wanted
Mhm.
to do it,
Mhm.
I wouldn't get away with it because I don't know how to cheat. But I don't know how. Plus, if I did, I get caught because they strict on that shit nowadays. So I don't. That's just what my thinking was as a
So
fighter.
I understand. So do you believe that the commissions operate with the utmost integrity through your experience? Do you believe that?
Through my experience,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, every fight. Now, mind you, I, I haven't been in no $100 million fight
Mhm.
or the type of gate that's 100 million, 200 million, and they got a lot of stake in the game.
Mhm.
They got a lot of money to be made in it. So, but from my experience, they went by the books. They did what they supposed to do, and but like
Okay.
I said, I guess it's different. I don't know. I can't say if he cheated or if he didn't cheat. My experience is the commission is strict as hell on that. Strict.
Okay.
And
But there is cheating. I'm sorry. There is cheating in boxing. We can agree on that much. Now you mentioned the gloves. Um, just real quick, are you familiar with a fighter by the name of Ashaki Foster?
I heard the name. I heard the name.
Okay. Well, just briefly, um, Oshaki Foster was recently they his camp caught his opponent's camp trying to cheat him with some gloves right out the pack.
Mm,
Yeah, the padding wasn't distributed properly in his opponent's gloves, and his camp caught it. Now I mentioned the fact that his camp caught it because it was Miguel Roman. The camp caught it, not the commission. The reason why I'm putting emphasis on the camp catching is because you would think that it would be the commission's job to catch these cheaters. And upon my research, the commission has never caught a cheater. It was always the opposite team's camp. Now, I bring up Oshaki Foster's because they caught the gloves. They made Roman wear some proper gloves. Oshaki went in there and knocked his ass out.
mm,
But if they didn't catch those manipulated gloves, which were out the pack, we might have had a different outcome. Now, this is a dangerous sport as it is. We just had a death in the ring last year.
mm-hmm,
And the last thing we need is another death by way of someone cheating. I'm sure you know about Louis Resto and Billy Collins Jr. In
mm-hmm,
the 80s. Louis Resto lives right here in the Bronx.
mm,
And he doesn't look well. He works
mm,
at the Morris Park gym, I believe, but he doesn't look well. But he's
mm,
one of those guys that could have been. But being that his gloves were manipulated and he says he didn't know, he was thrown out of the sport and did 2 years in prison. And Panama Lewis,
mm-hmm.
got sentenced, and he was thrown out of the sport. Now, the reason why I bring that up is because ignorance isn't an excuse. You know, he said that he didn't know Panama did that to his gloves, and he stands by that. But the fact is, it was done. The fact is, it was done. You know,
that,
so
that I find that hard to believe.
but that Panama did that he didn't know. You find that hard to believe, right?
No.
I'm glad you said that. I'm glad you said that. Are you aware of Tyson Fury's history?
I know hear some stories here and there, but not. I am going into depth with it. But I know heard some like everybody else. I heard some stories.
Yeah.
I
Well,
see a few videos.
there are a lot of things that are confirmed with this guy, which prompt me to call in and ask Sugar Hill these questions. Tyson Fury is one of the biggest cheaters in the sport of boxing, and I'm not just saying that. Are you aware that his boxing license is suspended in the UK right now?
No, I didn't know.
All right. He is suspended.
I gotta go look at that.
Yeah. He is suspended because him and his cousin Huey popped dirty. And when they asked him, why do you pop dirty? Their excuse was they ate boar meat from an uncastrated boar. I said, well, damn, that's news to me. And they said they got it from a farmer by the name of Martin Carefoot. Martin Carefoot came out later and said to him, well, he said to the media, look, I don't even have boars on my farm to sell him. So there's no way he got tainted boar meat from me. That's impossible. Why are you coming out with this now, Mr. Carefoot? Because he didn't pay me. They offered to pay him hush money. This is true. This is all factual. He later recanted that because obviously, you know, I don't know what's going on. I don't want to allege anything, but he recanted. But there might be some gangster thing going on there. I don't know. But the fact is, it was put out there. Prior to that, he had a fight with a guy by the name of McDermott, where there was some manipulated gloves in that situation. He agreed to use a certain pair of gloves. They fought twice. In the rematch, long story short, Fury dicked him around with the pen. Yeah, I said I was going to wear different color gloves or whatever he said. And you have to wear these gloves. All right. And one gloves caused brain damage. The other pair of gloves prevented brain damage. All right. So the pair of gloves that Tyson Fury was allowed to use were the ones that caused brain damage. But
so tell me, you know he wear foreign gloves too, though, right? And foreign gloves are pretty weird. I never wore some foreign gloves, and they are made differently than. What kind of glove do Fury use? What is?
Well, leading up to the Fury fight, I don't recall, but leading up to the Fury fight, there were Reyes gloves, and I'll get to that in a second. The McDermott fight, there was some nonsense with the McDermott fight. Then, are you familiar with Nicholas Asbury at all? Okay, all right. Nicholas Asbury was his sparring partner. Are you familiar with the issues he had in Fury's camp?
Was that the interview that was on Fight Hut?
Yeah. When he went to the camp and he actually videoed Fury remove padding from the glove. He also said that when he turned the glove a certain way, an egg weight fell out. And he said an egg weight fell out of the glove. An egg weight, a weight, the weight that you.
I got that. I got that.
Yeah, right. Yeah. He said that he found that in Fury's gloves, and he was wondering why this guy. One day he couldn't crack an egg. The next day he's bruising up his ribs, and he's like, "What the hell's going on here?" And then when he found it, put it on video, released the video. Instead of the Fury camp saying, "Yo, you're a liar," they apologized to him, and they said the purpose of that was to build our fighters' confidence. That's Tyson Fury's camp doing this. So after that, there was the Klitschko fight. He won, but he pops dirty down the line, and then he gets suspended for 2 years. He didn't choose to take 2 years off. What happened was he was suspended for 2 years. They took his license because he cheated. And that's when he ballooned up to 400 pounds. And here comes Deontay Wilder giving this man a shot at life because he was depressed and everything else. And he had a drug habit. He said, come on in. We need the Gypsy King back, man. Come on in and come get this money. Gave him 50% and a reshot at life, right? They fought to a draw the first time. All right. And instead of giving him the immediate rematch, what does Fury do? He gets 2 fights in between, looks normal. Then in the rematch with Wilder, he comes back and now he hitting so hard, he putting dents in people's head. This guy couldn't crack an egg. Now he's putting dents in people's skulls. Now I was upset at the outcome of the second fight because my guy lost, and that's fine. However, my email was blowing up, my Instagram was blowing up. They said, "Yo, you gotta see this," and I'm like, I can't watch that rematch, man. I feel bad." They said, "No, you have to see this," and I'm looking at the fight, and I see his glove flopping around like this. That's what the hell is that? I've never seen that, but I have. Wait a minute. 1987, I'm hitting the bag in the gym. Trainer comes up to me. He says, "Kid," he pulls my glove down. Now my fist is in the wrist of the glove. He's saying, give the bag a punch. I threw a hook. I said, "It's not comfortable." He said, "Give it another hook." Boom. I said, "It's not comfortable." He said, "You could really fuck somebody up doing this." And I said, "Okay, I don't have enough malice to do this to anybody, but whatever." Ain't that cheating, coach? He said, "It's cheating if you get caught." That's in my mind. And I never did it. I never thought about it since 1987. And I'm looking at this glove and I said, wait a fucking minute. Hold on. Then I went back to the first fight and his glove is doing that in the first fight. Then I looked at all his previous fights. His glove wasn't doing that. Christian Hammer, he goes to fight Christian Hammer. They stopped the fight before it even started. He detached the thumb from his glove. Now, the reason why he had to win that Christian Hammer fight is because the winner of that fight was going to get Vladimir Klitschko. So he wanted to make sure that he was winning. Steve Cunningham. Steve Cunningham fought him. I had him on my show. He said that was like Tyson Fury broke every rule in the book. Every rule in the book. And it's well documented. There was rabbit punches. He was holding him low and chokeholds, and Steve was kicking his ass. He actually knocked Fury on his ass. All right. And what happened was even after the fight, they put together their paperwork and brought it to the commission. And they said, "Yo, look, this guy broke every rule in the book. Are you going to at least change this to a no contest?" The New York State Athletic Commission told them no. Now, why would they tell him?
So tell me, you think he cheated the first fight too?
Absolutely, and we have video proof of it. I've done a video about it. The guy cheated. There's no. Charles Martin said after the first fight, he said, "What the hell was going on with his glove?" Charles Martin said that, and that was after the first fight.
Charles Martin.
He said that.
He's from Round. He's from St. Louis.
Yeah. Right. So he said, "What the hell was going on with his glove?" He said that after, and this was after the first fight. He said, "What was going on with his glove? I've never seen that. That was crazy." You could see him adjusting it. Ricky Hatton said in the interview a month ago that Tyson Fury told him to pull his glove up when he's coming out in the ring walk in the first fight. He goes like this. You can see his knuckle in the wrist of the glove, and it's not tied properly. So all of these things, knowing all of these things, and the fact that it's getting ignored, and we're the only people talking about it, Isn't it funny how this only seems to happen to black fighters? Isn't that weird? This level of ignorance, this level of cheating that goes on. This is something we've always had to deal with. So what I'm saying is, knowing Tyson Fury's history, and it's real brief. I just gave you the brief version of it. Is it reasonable for me to ask Sugar Hill those questions that I asked him? Granted, Tyson Fury's history, was it reasonable for me to ask Sugar Hill the questions that I asked him, in your opinion?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, absolutely. You could have asked, Sugar Hill, for sure. I just didn't know the background with Tyson Fury and his cheating either. You know,
Mm.
mind you, I'm telling you, I'm coming from a fighter standpoint. And I know a lot of people, when you fight a guy like when I fought Medina, a lot of people
Mm-hmm.
was
Mm-hmm.
making excuses. They was mad. They was pissed that
Mm-hmm.
I beat them the way I beat them. They said I was holding too much. I was clenching. I was this. I was that.
I remember. Mm-hmm.
So I know how people can get when their fighter lose. So when I saw Sugar Hill and you actually Sugar Hill, I thought it was just some type of sore loser or
Mm-hmm.
uh wow, I did see a couple other videos with some guys talking about the cheating or whatever. And me just thinking like, these dudes are just they can't accept the fact that Wilder lost.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
of course you can question anything, and you got a history of this and that. Of course you want to question. It just you have to. Just like Big Baby Miller. People go question him all the time now because of what he been through for his the peak. So it's okay that of course, yeah, you can it's reasonable for sure to ask Sugar Hill, questions pertaining to did you know, what did you know, how did you know? But me, in my opinion, me just looking at Sugar Hill and knowing Sugar Hill, if if it wasn't cheating, he didn't know about it. I'm telling you that right now, he didn't know about it. His team could have some stuff going on that Sugar Hill don't learn about. He's over there. So they only brought Sugar Hill to add some skill, some boxing ability, some skill. And I knew it. I knew when I ain't even gonna lie, when I saw Sugar Hill and Fury corner, I knew he was gonna try to box Wilder that fight. I knew he was gonna keep Wilder on the end of his punches. And I
Mm-hmm.
said that. And I think that's why they brought Sugar Hill in. So uh, that was my thinking. Sugar Hill, if Sugar Hill, he's just not that type of guy. Now, Fury team, that that I that if it was, and I'm not saying what if it was that they he didn't know about it. Sugar Hill did
And,
is
and and that's what he said. He said if there's any funny stuff going on, he didn't know about it. And
mm,
what I said to him, I said, brother, I'll take you at your word. But I did ask him, I said, are you familiar with the term in concert? The interview was 30 minutes. Did you watch it, the whole thing?
nah, I ain't watched those.
Okay.
Some guy actually was making clippers of it, and I saw like three clippers of it.
That
So
that
yeah,
that that happens. You could
yeah,
clip anything and make anyone look like a villain. That's why I
yeah,
asked if we
yeah,
could speak.
yeah,
Right.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I could do, that was real cute what they did it. But
Mm,
um I asked, Sugar Hill, he said he didn't know. He don't know anything about no cameras being this, because that's another thing that happened. They unplugged the cameras during the pay-per-view. I was like, what the fuck's going
mm,
on? What's that about? And then they say, well, it don't matter because JD's was in there. But JD's, from what I know, I don't think he felt the gloves. I don't think he felt the gloves. So I asked Sugar Hill, are you aware with the term in concert? Are you aware what that term means, in concert?
yeah, kind of like you attached to it. You
You're
almost like
attached to it.
you're a part of it.
Right. So with that being said, Sugar Hill might not know, you know, what is going on. He might not care about his previous history. All he cares about, they gave him a lump of money to train this guy how to throw a punch. And that's cool in the gang. However, when they find the dirty stuff, because they're going to find it, because the injuries to Wilder's skull are inconsistent with a boxing glove. No one has ever seen no one's ever seen an injury to a human skull like that with a boxing glove. Okay, and magically Tyson Fury, who couldn't bust a grape, is now knocking dents in people's head based off of Sugar showing him how to turn his punch. I personally don't believe that. All right. So Sugar Hill doesn't know that the gloves were manipulated. That's fine. But that term in concert links him to that. Panama Lewis, Louis Resto. Louis said, I didn't know. Panama Lewis said, what are you talking about? The judge said, both of y'all are gone. Okay. Sugar Hill, hey, I just wrapped the hands. Hey, I just wrapped his hands. I just showed him how to turn his arm properly and so he can get more knockouts. Okay. Tyson Fury says, look, I don't know what he's talking about, but we're finding this evidence. Dents in the heads, you know, all this cheating, and based off of your previous history, you're gone. Both of y'all are gone in concert. So if Sugar Hill really is a man of his word and he doesn't know anything about Tyson Fury or about the manipulated gloves or anything like that, I hope he understands that term in concert. Now, he says he does. All right. But I find it highly strange that Tyson Fury, if you know, the world said, oh, he beat him the first time. It wasn't a draw. I don't know what fight they were watching, but whatever. All right. Then he ducked the immediate rematch, had 2 fights in between, looked horrible against Otto Wallin. All right. And then comes in against Deontay Wilder, and now he's knocking dents in people's skulls. It didn't make sense. Okay. It doesn't make sense. So now there's a lot of money involved in this third fight, even in the pandemic. Why is he ducking the third fight? I believe is because the world is going to be looking at that man's glove. All right. So I would tell you, please, brother, review the evidence.
Tell me. It was before I came on your platform. It was a couple of people saying, man, be careful, man. He's a race baiter. He's disrespectful. He's gonna be talking crazy, man. He's all about color and race and this,
right?
And this and that.
Meanwhile, who's telling you that? White people? Who's telling you that? Now, so what is your interpretation of me right now? Now that you're speaking to me, am I any of that? You can be honest.
Nah, you ain't.
Thank you.
Yeah, I got a few of them that inboxed me and said, "Hey, man, he's a race baiter, man. He's always talking about it. He can't accept the facts and this and that.
Okay, I'm a race baiter. Are you familiar with I'm a race baiter. That's cute. Are you familiar with there's a channel on YouTube called Champside? You familiar with him at all? He's also on Instagram, Champside. He did a pound for pound list very recently. And it was an honest list that I agree with 110%. And the next day, people are jumping on him in his chat with a bunch of monkey emojis because he didn't have Canelo Alvarez on his pound for pound list. Well, his logic behind that, number one, was because Canelo's a drug cheat. And I agree with that 110%. I don't put drug cheats on my pound for pound list. I don't care who they are. I don't care who they are. For example, if Shane Mosley was active today with a belt, I wouldn't put him on it. And I don't care. I've supported Shane Mosley his entire career. I'm a Shane Mosley fan. But unfortunately, he popped dirty. Therefore, he would never make a list of mine. And
Yeah,
now
he had the arm
the cream.
steroid thing.
Yeah, the
Yeah,
cream.
cream. Yeah.
Cream in the clear. That's what it was called.
Yeah.
Cream in the clear.
Yeah.
That's what he was
Yeah.
using. He admitted to that. And that made me question everything he did in his career. Everything. You know? So you know, that was the whole topic. Were my questions to Sugar Hill reasonable? And really think about it. People are hitting you up in your inbox calling me a race beta. Am I a race beta? I just told you what happened to Champ Side. I don't know Champ Side. I'm subscribed to his channel for a while now. And he put up a pound for pound list that had he had Manny Pacquiao on there at number 4. I think he had Caleb Plant at number 10. That's a Filipino and a white. I think the list was too black though. Am I race baiting by saying that? Or is Errol Spence really number 1 pound for pound? All right. You understand what we're talking about?
Now, I got some experience with UK fighters. Because when I fought somebody over there, they different. I got a lot of that. A lot of the hate, a lot of the, the racist jokes and all that. I got a lot of that when I fought somebody.
So those are more than likely the same guys that are hitting you up. All of a sudden, they're your friend now. They're hitting you up, telling you to be careful of me. But meanwhile, they chop up my video and make it seem like I'm some sort of race baiting asshole. No, I said nothing racist. In fact, I was talking to another black man and I showed him the utmost respect and I asked questions. What it is that they will everything I told you about Tyson Fury, they'll ignore. They know it, but they'll ignore it. And I'll ask them, those same people, I'll ask them, why is Tyson Fury ducking the 3rd fight? You know what they'll say? They'll say something silly to me like, oh, because Wilder got skinny legs. He can't box. He's a chump. Is that really answering the question? That's not answering the question. All right, there's money on the table, and he's not taking it. So this is like a disgusting thing we're dealing with. But that's why I brought up the Black Murderers Row and Joe Gans and Jack Johnson, because this is nothing new. This is what we deal with. You just said when you was fighting those UK guys, you dealt with those jokes. Champ Side put together a pound for pound list. He put together a pound for pound list. And these guys who claim they're Mexican start calling them all kinds of monkeys. What is that about?
Now,
what is that really about?
Boxing got some racist shit up in there. Boxing always had that racist tone in it. So don't get me wrong. I love the sport, but it got some. It's still in there,
Well, I'm not going to hold you much longer, but I do you think I'm a racist?
Nah.
All right. Do I know boxing?
Yeah, you know your shit.
Okay.
I tell you that you know your shit, and that's why I can appreciate, when you talking. See, me, I don't form an opinion about nobody until I actually meet. I don't like nobody telling me. Just like with Don King. Don King, I was promoted by Don King early in my career. Before I got with him, people was telling me don't ever go with him. Then my experience, Don King never cheated me out of $1. He never.
Nate Campbell told me the same thing.
He never did. My contracts were straight up, this and that. So I don't know. So I never take nobody with their word about what they say about somebody, because maybe you brought that on that guy. Maybe you approached that person the wrong way and he had to come their way. So who knows? So my experience is gonna be maybe different from yours. So I try not to form an opinion about nobody until I actually meet that person. And you're a good dude. You can tell you're a genuine dude, good dude. And I try not to, get in between all that, hoopla. Meet the person, meet the man, and 9 times out of 10 is usually not what people. It's somebody that's saying that they don't like what you did or said or whatever. So, but it happens, man. It happens.
Yeah, I know, and all it is, like I said, those same people that told you to watch out for me. I don't know what that means. I'm very cut and clear and dry, and I'm just asking questions. There are no trick questions. They're just
Yeah.
questions.
Yeah.
And again, I left Sugar Hill knowing, letting him know, reminding him of what that term in concert means. Because if the man genuinely does not know anything about that camp, he needs to be careful.
Mm-hmm.
Because when they drop that legal hammer, he's going to be there in concert, you know. And never mind the fact that you know what, it's a 30-minute video, it's on YouTube, go watch it, you'll see the questioning. You see the questioning, and it wasn't disrespectful. And
yeah, they chopped it up.
Yeah.
I saw they chopped it up.
Yeah, and you know, he answered, and he actually agreed with me, and that's the funny part, and that's what pissed people off, because I asked him the same question that I just asked you. With Tyson Fury's history, is it reasonable for me to believe what I believe about him? And he said yes. He said yes. Now, if he said no,
I'm just a fact-based person. You know, I try to go by facts and not emotions. Never emotions, just number of facts. And
right.
you know, just by you talking and by you saying about, you know, the sparring partner and this and that, if it's factual, it's nothing you can do. But if it's factual, you can't get mad about it. You gotta question it. You know, and I am a fact-based person. So I mean,
did you ever see his glove actually turning in that weird way? Did you ever see it? Like, actually looked at a video or a picture of it? Did you ever see it?
I saw
Tyson Fury's glove.
That's where I get where the foreign gloves are weird. They are made weird. I don't know why.
Now those were Reyes gloves he had. Those are Reyes gloves he had. Those are Reyes gloves.
Really?
Yeah. I'm telling you, Devin, there's a lot going on. Those are Reyes gloves. Those Reyes gloves, the padding can be ordered, manipulated a certain way as long as they weigh the same. So if the glove have to be 12 ounces, when it gets on the scale, it can be 12 ounces, but the 12 ounces, for example, could be in the wrist, not in the actual knuckle.
For sure.
You understand?
For sure.
So
For sure.
the padding. Oh, I'm looking at the chat. They said those were Paffin sport gloves. Okay. Those gloves can be manipulated, which means when you get them out of the pack, they're already.
So Patent Sport, is that a foreign company? Is that a company that's from overseas?
I'm not sure where they're from. What I do know is a Shockey Forces opponent got those gloves and did the same thing. As a matter of fact, you and Floyd Mayweather have an opponent in common, Marcos Maidana.
Mm-hmm.
And it's on video when Floyd Mayweather picks up the gloves and he says, yo, or they say they're from Germany or from the UK. He picks up the glove. He says, we're not using these gloves. There's no padding in these gloves. And it looked just like when Nicholas Asbury put his thumb on the gloves that Tyson Fury is using in the sparring camp. Now, why I point out Nicholas Asbury is because Nicholas Asbury was helping Fury get ready to fight Wilder. So that leads me to believe that he was in camp training how to cheat. And that's where all of this came from. I'm just putting things together. If the injury didn't happen like that, maybe I wouldn't be leaning on this as hard. But the man has a dent in his head. I've seen all kinds of injuries in boxing. A dent in the head? I've never seen.
So for the gloves, you know, the company that they use They could be in cahoots with them. Make these gloves like this. They'll
Yep.
if you don't make them like I want them, I ain't using them.
That's
They could
right.
be they over there. So,
Yeah, that's what's happening, and that's exactly what happened. I said Reyes. I'm sorry. That was Pathman Sports, and that's what is going on. That's exactly what we're talking about here. That's how Deontay got that dent in his head, and I hope that Sugar doesn't know anything about that because this shit is serious.
Yeah,
this shit is serious, and again, you could die in that ring, man. As it is, you can die. One good punch right here, you could die, man.
Hell yeah.
And it's bad enough. It's bad enough that you could die in there. But what's worse is when you have somebody going in there knowing what they're doing, smiling in your face, somebody that you gave. Deontay didn't have to bring that guy from the dead, man. He was on the couch 400 pounds. He said, get your ass back in the ring, feed your family. I'll give you 50-50, even though you don't deserve it, with your criminal history. I mean, come on.
So
Deontay's a good dude.
Just by me just talking based on the facts and all that, it could be the glove company definitely was in cahoots. It could have been they probably told him how to make them or how they like them. I know some companies that do that, or whatever, but who knows, man? When it's that type of money involved, when it's that type of reward involved, anything can happen, But my thing is, if he did, it's a lot of people involved. That's just my personal opinion.
No, and babe, that's what we're alleging, man. That's what we're alleging because all signs point to exactly what you just said. There's a grand scheme in here. Nobody wants to see Deontay shine. Now, I guess this is the part where they're going to tell me I'm race baiting. This is the part where they're going to tell me I'm race baiting. All right.
Yeah, I like Wilder. I like Wilder.
Yeah,
I love
Deontay
the
Wilder
way he represents the culture.
He represents the culture, and he doesn't hate on other cultures. He just represents his.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
He doesn't degrade anyone else's culture. If he didn't like Tyson Fury prior to all of this, he wouldn't have gave him a payday. So, but I guess this is the part where I'm about to go. This is the part where they're gonna say I'm race baiting, as if they don't know everything. I mentioned the Black Murderers Row. That happened. I mentioned Joe Gans. That happened. Whatever Jack Johnson went through, that happened. By the way, Jack Johnson just got pardoned. What, in 2019?
Yeah, by Trump.
And who did he have come in there represent the pardon? Jack Johnson's surviving family members and Deontay Wilder. So these are the things that I'm talking about. This guy's unapologetically black. He asked him to come in. So when this guy gets cheated, and you have the 6'9", 300-pound white guy from Europe beat the American champ. Remove black out of it for a second. Beat the American champ and stand in the middle of the ring and sing "Bye Bye Miss American Pie" in our country and have people applauding it. And you got Larry Merchant saying, "Bye Bye Miss American Pie. Have we seen the last of the great black hope?" I'm not supposed to get offended at that shit. When the hell do we ever need hope? Do you know? Do you have any idea what we've gone through as a people in this world, let alone the sport of boxing? But I'm race baiting though. They contact the same people that are in our chats, what we call trolls, calling us all kinds of monkeys and niggas and y'all are haters. Y'all just hate white. Those same people would never talk to you, Devin. But when they found out you was going to talk to me today, they reached out to you and said, watch out for him. Devin, if slavery start tomorrow, we're in the same line. We're in the same line. I'm in the same line with Sugar Hill. You think I don't know that? What I was talking about was the fairness of the sport. These motherfuckers want to put the race issue on it. Champ side did a pound for pound list, had nothing to do with race. Next thing you know, he got people that claiming that they were Mexican putting monkey emojis in his chat, calling them all kinds of niggas.
Making it about race.
making it about race. It's not us. Canelo Alvarez is not on the pound for pound list because he's a drug cheat. And the WBC up the levels of clenbuterol that is allowable in the system because of him. Now I just have to ask, if that was a black fighter, would they have done that? Makes you wonder. I don't think they would.
Say it again.
Canelo Alvarez popped dirty for.
I knew that. I knew that. Yeah.
Okay. So now
in a meat or whatever. Okay.
Right. He's a millionaire, but he's eating bad meat in Mexico. Yeah. Right. Okay. But what the WBC did, they gave him a bullshit suspension, and they upped the allowable levels that can be found now. So now, if it's in his system and it's found, and they find the same levels, he's going to be okay because now it's allowable. That's like if you get caught drunk driving, and you blow a .4, right? And you get locked up for that, and then you find out the guy the next month blew a .4 and got no time. You're saying, well, why I got to go to jail, but he don't? Oh, well, it's now .5. Why'd they raise it? Oh, because that guy is the nephew of the senator. Meanwhile, you got a DUI. They did. See, Devin, they did that. Now, why did the WBC do that for Canelo Alvarez? Why did they invent the franchise status right when Jamel Charlo was in line to get that fight against him? He vacated and started moving around and padding his legacy, fighting guys in higher weight classes that just weren't of the same skill set. But he didn't clean out 160. He didn't clean out 160. Why would they invent a status? They just did that. Dev, I can go on and on and on. But they did that. Now, I was wondering, why the hell would WBC do that? Well, who is in charge of WBC? A man by the name of Mauricio Suleiman, a fellow Mexican. Am I playing a race card? But they want to call champs out all kinds of monkeys and niggas, right? Am I playing? But I'm playing the race card for pointing out what actually happened. Huh? Am I playing a race card by saying that?
If people are honest with themselves, it's all about race. It's always about race.
It's always about race. And let me be very clear. I love it when people root for their own. If I see a black American fighter, I'm rooting for him off the bat. I'm rooting. And let me tell you, Floyd Mayweather made it very difficult sometimes to root for him.
For sure.
But I rooted for him in that ring, and I protected him against racism until he got the hell out the sport. Anything else, I'm not gonna justify. But I support that brother in the ring. All right. You want to talk about why he's gonna lose a fight to whoever, we can discuss it. But once you start talking about, oh well, he's a fucking nigga and da da da, no, you're not gonna do that on my watch. How about this? I don't like Dillian White. He's a subpar fighter. He has a ton of hype behind him. All right. He had a lot to say about Deontay Wilder. I don't like him as a representative of the sport. I don't. He also popped dirty. He also manipulated his gloves. I don't like him for the sport.
Yeah,
but you know what I won't.
Pop dirty.
Yeah, he popped dirty and manipulated gloves. But you know what I won't allow? If me and him are in the same room, I won't allow somebody come walking in and start calling him all kinds of niggas. Not on my watch. It's not going to happen.
Sure.
I don't care how I feel about him. That's between him and I. But you are not going to start calling him all out his name. You're not going to do that.
For sure.
All right. Now, in closing, you're going to see a lot of things, negative rhetoric about something called the LDBC. The LDBC is the Lions Den boxing community. All right. The Lions Den boxing community. Here's why we exist. And I don't care what anyone else says about us. This is why we exist. On YouTube, once upon a time, it was very difficult for a person of color to come on here, and I'm talking about a black person, to talk about boxing. For instance, what year did you fight Marcos Maidana?
2013, 14.
2013. Here's why that's funny. I recall going on was it you? It had to have been you. I recall going on a YouTube channel and I'm just seeing, oh yeah, Devin versus Marcos Maidana. So I'm looking to engage people of like mind. Who's going to win? And I said, I'm picking Devin, UD. That's what I said. Some people said, nah, I got Marcos by knockout. He's a hard hitter. I said, nah, I think Devin has the skills to keep him on the tip of a jab. Going to keep him crossed up all day, give him angles. I think Devin's going to win. 3 comments down, I'm getting called all kind of niggas. Now, this was before I attached my face to my avatar. And I'm like, yo, what's this? I'm like, what is this? I'm talking boxing.
Right.
How'd that happen? And these guys, they're not all Argentinian. They claim Mexican and all kinds of Spanish speaking. I said, yeah. I'm like, yo, what the fuck? I'm just trying to talk boxing. I'm getting called all kinds of niggas. So how did I handle that? First, I got mad and I responded. But I would unsubscribe to the person who owned the channel when they would tell me, stop talking to them like that. So you're gonna protect them, but it was okay for 3 days. They calling me out my name. You said nothing. That was happening on multiple channels. So shout out to my brother, 78 Sports TV. He said, you know what? We done with this shit. We're still going to function under YouTube, but we're going to take our shit elsewhere. I'm forming the Lions Den boxing community where you can be safe talking boxing. He didn't say only for black people. A majority of us are black, but not all of us are black. You're coming for unbiased talk about boxing. We are pro-black. We are pro-black. We protect the black fighter.
Yeah, you should.
Yeah, because there's pro-Mexican channels, and that's beautiful.
Yeah, absolutely.
But we don't degrade anybody because of their ethnicity. So we packed our shit and left.
We the only one that they the only one. We the only one that they feel threatened when we come together.
Thank you.
Form a union. They feel a certain way when we form our own.
When we form our own,
I don't know what the hell it is about us when we form our own that they
Devin, this is what we're dealing with. So we packed our shit and left. They could be racist and insecure over there. So we packed our shit, and it wasn't only 78. There was a bunch of brothers online where I felt safe. Blood Boxing, Black Fight Fan, Fandom International, KQKC, Barbershop Conversations. There was a whole bunch of people where I felt safe. And we just picked up and moved over here like Black Wall Street. Sound familiar? And when we left them alone. We over here minding our business. What do you think happened? They came over here and started fucking with us.
Yeah.
So we exist because of that. Because of the hatred. That's why we exist. We wasn't fucking with nobody. They come over here fucking with us. All right? There's 1,001 channels that call us all kinds of monkeys and everything else. You know how I handle it? I don't go over there. I don't go over there. And that's how you handle that. But when I'm over here chopping it up with you're the professional. I'm sure there's a bunch of shit I could learn from you about the mechanics in the ring. I never stop learning. I'm not the pro, you're the pro. Okay? You're the world champion, not me. So to have you on this platform and disrespect you would be backwards. For me to jump on Fred's show and disrespect Sugar Hill would be backwards. I wanted to learn. That's what the questioning was. There was nothing racist about it. There was nothing racist. So we up and moved over here and they come fucking with us. That's what all this is. So when you see on Twitter, oh, the LDBC, race baiting, and you got a bunch of coons running around here. I hate the LDBC and they race bait.
I can't stand it. Those are the worst.
Those are the worst ones. Now, as sure as I'm telling you, they're going to take our conversation, and chop it up and they're gonna talk about me. And congratulations, they're gonna talk about you. All right. But here's what I'm gonna say. Like how they chopped up the video and sent it to you and made me look like I was some sort of villain. Okay, yeah. I understand all of that. But now you know the truth.
Yeah.
Now you know the truth. I'm nothing but a fan. And I want what's best for every fighter. I don't care what race, culture, or creed they are.
Are you guys a YouTube channel? Or
there's a bunch of us. There's a bunch of us that are under the banner of the LDBC. All right. Okay. But you know, I'll bring you up to speed. We'll talk behind the scenes. I'll bring you up to speed. Okay. But I guess the moral of the story is we have to be mindful of the mind fuck.
Yeah.
Because they try. And I knew they were going to try and hit you up. I knew they were going to try and hit you up and say, yo, watch this guy and watch that guy and don't do that and be cognizant of that. Listen, I didn't mislead you. I just asked questions. I told you about me. You told me about you. And now you understand who I am, what I represent, what we are.
For sure.
The Lions Den boxing community. We are a community. We're a community, and we love one another. We love boxing.
They made it seem like you was a villain. They really made it feel like you was like just hard. You horrible.
Yeah. I'm this bad guy. You know, I'm not. I'm just a fan of the sport with a different opinion from them. You talk to those same guys. Now, everything that I told you about Fury, talk to those same guys that hit you up on Instagram. I mean, on Twitter, and see if they tell you the same thing. See if they tell you the same thing. I did a documentary. I assisted in a documentary. Everything that I told you about Tyson Fury is 100% facts. And those facts gave me reason to question everything that went down with Deontay Wilder, with those floppy gloves, because he has history of doing it in the past. It made me question Sugar Hill. And when Sugar Hill said, I have no knowledge of it, I told the brother, I'll take you at your word. But I hope you understand what in concert means. Meaning, you riding along with your friends, and your friends jump out and rob somebody, and you get out the car and say, nope, fuck y'all, I'm going home. You go home and don't tell the police. When the police come to your door, you're just as guilty because you didn't tell the police. You could say, yo, look, they did it, not me. You were there and you didn't call the police. So you are getting charged in concert. You see how that works?
And that's for sure.
That's what I wanted Sugar Hill, because guess what? I hope he's not involved.
Yeah.
I hope he's not involved.
just growing up with Sugar Hill, he was a coach over in Detroit, and I met him. I used to see him all the time at the amateur. He don't know if it's something going on. He don't know about it. But
I'll take him at his word.
Like you said, you know, if he needs to get up to speed or ask questions, he can ask questions. He can, you know, they might fire him if he asks a question, but he need to. Ain't nothing wrong with asking.
And you know what scared me? A couple of nights prior, Fred had Bob Arum on his show, and he asked him where the gloves were, and Bob Arum said, I don't know. So then a few days later, Sugar Hill's on the show. Fred asked him, he says, where the gloves? He says, the gloves in my house. I said, oh, shit. In concert, if those gloves haven't been touched and they feel those gloves and they say, yo, bring them to us. And I'm just thinking, you know, bring them to us. And they say, yo, these gloves are messed up. What you mean you didn't know? I was just hand wrapping. But you didn't touch these? I heard JD's ain't touch him either, which is how he got into the ring with him. Yeah. You see what I'm saying? And it'll be unfortunate because I heard about Sugar Hill. He's done some great community work. He's a retired officer, you know, and I don't want to talk bad about him. The first parts of it, I was emotional because I said, man, he has something to do with that shit.
Mm-hmm.
And not only
Sugar, a good dude.
He's a good dude, right? This is what everyone hit me up and told me. And I said, man, you know what else he doesn't have on his side is that shit with the wrist. I understand that's something practiced in Detroit. That's what I didn't know that. They told me that. Joey Spencer said it, and he's from Detroit. He said that's something that we were trained to do. I said, oh man, it's not looking good for Sugar.
Yeah, no, that part I ain't hear. I never heard that.
There's a lot of facts, brother, and I'm glad I can talk to you. I'm glad, I could bring you up to speed. I'm glad that you decided to get all the facts. I know they're gonna chop this video up. I know I'm gonna have like 100 haters chop it up and talk about how I'm racist and I'm an asshole, and watch them flip on you. They're gonna flip on you. Why'd you talk to him?
I'm used to it, man. I shit.
Yeah,
I'm used to it, man.
yeah, I know. But just to bring you up to speed, this is who we are, and this is how we roll, brother. So,
Man, this boxing game, man. I'm the nice. I get along with everybody. I give you the shirt off my back. What I done figured out in this boxing game, you can be the nicest person in the world, and it's still
yeah,
going to be somebody that don't give a shit. Vice versa. They still don't want. It's still gonna be somebody in this sport that's gonna hate you, regardless of how nice you are. Period. That me, how I take it out. You can't please everybody. Some people will like you. Some people gonna hate you. Some people just ain't gonna buy with you, which is fine, or whatever. So that's how I approach it. So like you said, people gonna be mad or whatever. Oh well, that's life. Hey, a lot of people that comment too don't even know me personally. Probably don't even know you personally. And they
none of
just
them do. None of them do.
yeah. So I just take it as it goes, man. I go with
Take it
facts.
as it
So
goes. Take it as it goes. I'm the
yeah,
coolest dude in the world until you cross me.
yeah.
Until you cross
Till
me.
you cross
So
me, like, and that's
they,
like
they,
that's what, yeah.
now these guys off of one interview, they done made me allegedly. They made me famous. I got people accusing me. Oh, you happy? You making money off the interview? I said, what the fuck? What are you talking about? I'm not in this for the fame. I'm a fan just like you. And what exactly is it that you don't like that I said? And they can't even answer. I'm not in this for the fucking money, but I ain't gonna duck no money if YouTube is giving it out. But what's wrong with that? Because everybody complaining, they on here trying to get bread
They
also.
doing anyway. They right.
Thank you.
Damn right. Damn, get your
They,
pay.
they,
Get
they're
your
just mad.
paper.
They mad because they hate Wilder, and I'm fucking with their bottom line. And if I'm fucking with your bottom line, thank you for revealing yourself because I'm gonna fuck with it some more. Now I'm gonna do it on purpose. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I have a day job that I have to get to, and I'm gonna have to close this, man. Devin,
All right,
I
champ.
greatly appreciate you, fam. Let everyone know how to get in contact with you. You have a social media or anything?
Yeah, for sure, man. I'm on Twitter. I'm on Twitter. The real Devin A. I'm on Instagram, D Alexander 1, and then I'm on Facebook. I got a fan page, Devin the Great Alexander. Just hit me up, man. I respond back. I try to respond back as much as I can. But if you disrespectful, I try not to pretend that. I get a lot of
Like,
disrespect, man.
yeah, I
Lot of
know.
disrespect.
I
Fighters in
know. I know.
particular, the fight fans are the most emotional or the most passionate people. When you become a boxing fan, you become in tune with everything, and the emotions run high. And these people are crazy. You wouldn't believe some of the inboxes I get. Some of the inboxes that I get when I'm to be one of their fighters, or when I fought Lee Purdy, boy, they was want to come from my head. They was coming from my head, and like you said, it's always about race. It's always about race.
It's, thank you. It's not us. Racism was here before boxing. Racism was here before
For
me.
sure. For sure.
You know what I mean? So they, I don't understand how pointing out that this guy's a cheater makes me racist. It just is what it is. I don't understand how pointing out Canelo Alvarez is a weight jumping almost said racist, a weight jumping cheater. I don't understand how that makes me racist when I just point out that fact. It is what it is. You know,
they always looking at the psychologically they are thinking about race, and it's always gonna be about race. How you approach
Always.
things is always gonna be about race. Always.
Always. Well, it's
Well, I
not me.
appreciate you, champ. Thanks for
No, I
having me on,
appreciate
my
you,
man.
brother. All right, fam. I'll talk to you soon. Pleasure.
Hey, and inbox me everything, your social media stuff too, your YouTube, so I can
I'll get right on it.
subscribe to. I just created me a YouTube channel. I'm try to start promoting that too.
Excellent, brother.
I just created it. Just created one. I'm gonna try to, yeah. But go ahead, champ. I appreciate you.
I appreciate you, brother. Thank you for coming on, man. We'll talk
All right,
soon.
my man. Okay.
All right, later. Well, there you go. I guess I'm gonna be more famous. Look for them to chop that up and make me look like a racist and all kinds of weird shit. But the hate is great. Drew Titan,
this shit
Bronx
be
on deck.
private, dog. They ain't gonna chop shit up.
Oh, yeah. Excellent.
That shit's gonna be on private in about 5 seconds, man. Let's roll out of here, man. Go to a Trill Boxing Talk. And with that, we out. Peace.
Peace.